Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Here are my reasons why I hate living in this city. Being born and raised in British Columbia, Canada, it definitely has its upsides, but here are the reasons why I hate living here. I'd say the first thing about coming to Vancouver is the things along the lines of making friends. Vancouver is known to not be the most friendliest city.
A lot of people are really dicky in this city.
Yes, Canadians themselves might be, friendly with the A and the sorry and the opening of the doors, but when it comes to actually having conversation and socialization skills, even though that didn't make sense, is that you'll be soon to find out that Vancouver is a very, very cliquey city.
I think it's a cold city. I'm born and bred here, and I kind of have trouble. You have trouble making friends as you get older. When you're younger, you hang around packs, you know what I mean? And that's a hassle.
Chances are the person next to you went to school, high school, elementary school, university, and have the same jobs within their same circles. Meaning that if you are not in their circles, chances are it's hard to get in their circle. Meaning it's a lot of clickiness. These type of people all grew up to high school with each other, all dated the same people, and all hang out around the same sorts of people. And yes, you might be trying to say that, oh, I'm over generalizing, I'm stereotyping. But it's true, not even from my perspective, but from an outsider's perspective.
I met you in high school, so I'll just hang out with you for the rest of my life.
That's very, you see that a lot in university.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to lectures and you see the little groups here, groups here.
They're all just friends from high school. I'm just shit. I'm this new guy. I moved from Asia and I didn't go to high school here.
But when it comes to things like socialization, yes, it's definitely possible. But one of the reasons why I hate living in Vancouver is that sense of clickiness, that sense of you need to be a part of some big group to have friends and be popular and all this stuff. And it's essentially like a grown-up high school. But one of the main reasons why I really hate living in this city that gets on my gears or my nerves sometimes is that public transit or public transportation. And yes, I know Vancouver itself has one of the best transportation. It's not that, it's not the infrastructure. It's the sense and abundance of homeless people that is very prevalent in this city. From a third person perspective, you think of Vancouver of beautiful skylines, clean air, and overall good first world country city to live in. But when you start walking down things like Hastings Street, things like around downtown Vancouver, things like when you're being on the SkyTrain, you'll see that you'll come face to face a lot more often than you would like when it comes to homeless people, mental illness.
Peter, why are you being so overdramatic? Are you usually generalizing stories and making up things?
No, there was a good week not too recent ago where I counted 4 homeless encounters or even a douchebaggery encountering on public transportation, whether that's the bus or the SkyTrain. For example, in this situation where I was sitting on the bus on my way to work where this dude all of a sudden sits next to me. I'm like, okay. And his leg starts pressing up against me. I'm like, oh, maybe he's just, he's not very wary of where my leg is. Next thing you know, I literally feel him trying to open spread eagle, technically man-spreading, but just being a douchebag, and he doesn't have the care in the world. But you're like, Peter, you're just being a little man up next time and communicate. And this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime over-dramatization that you're trying to make. Well, in the same week, a second scenario happened to me where there was a homeless guy or mentally ill person or highly intoxicated on public transit during the middle of the day where the sun was still out. And you can just see him just yelling, calling people out for no reason. No one's trying to talk to this guy, and all he's doing is just yelling at people, yelling at that person, cussing that person out, cussing that person. Next thing you know, he's looking straight at me, and I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? And I literally just turn around, don't even look at him, don't acknowledge him. I'm holding on to the railing, and he's still trying to cuss me out. There's instances like these that keep reoccurring where it's like, why are there so many homeless people within Vancouver? Because coming from, or just being recently coming from Vietnam, yes, there is a homeless and mentally ill population, but it's not concentrated to this extent where you just see rows and rows of homeless people, and it's just sad, and at the same time to see people just the way that it is, right? And it's not really talked about in Vancouver, and that's one of the big reasons why I hate the city, is that there's so much of these people in this city. And yes, there's government funded programs, but at the same time it's like this kind of harm reduction plan. I can go on for hours and hours talking about homeless and mental illness, but I just wanted to make it clear that these are the reasons why I hate Vancouver. And if you watched my first one where I talked about Vancouver, or the second one where I love Vancouver, there's just a little rebuttal on the little facts of why I hate living in Vancouver. And a fellow creator of mine asked me the same question. Do you hate the city, or do you hate the cliquiness and the mentality? And it's definitely the latter. Like, being born and raised here, you know, you definitely appreciate, you know, the public transportation. The sense of traffic isn't that bad. Like, the people are overly nice, but the thing is with the human brain and how negativity is, you know, quadrupled when it comes to versing positivity, the bad people tend to spoil the rest, where it's like this one bad incident makes you completely forget about the 10 other awesome incidences that happen in the city. So if you decide to move here, want to know here, travel here, you know, be my guest, holla at me, I'll give you a free tour guide. I'll be your free tour guide. And that's just my little rant on why I hate living in Vancouver. And if you haven't watched all my other parts yet, please do, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Doses.